Assalamu alaikum. So quite the best mic ever, crisp. Sorry to just come a couple of minutes late, but Dr. Hassan was there, so he kind of covered, and so now we are swapping the order, and I've enjoyed listening to that presentation. Now I would like you to have some kind of a washout period between because of the diverse and the quite different type of work, but diversity is always good. Well, the title is, of course, Hospital Pharmacy, Issues about Acceptance, Effectiveness, Autonomy, and Challenges. There's a small story about that. I mean, this is a small exercise I've conducted before heading to Oman, where I was invited to speak in a conference entitled Empowering the Hospital Pharmacist. And I could have gone there and just, quoted literature and, or assumptions and so on and so forth. So let me just do something, a small exercise. And if it worked, then probably it will open doors for a real, study. And because there was quite an interest during and after the presentation, I thought to kind of share it here and then see from the input also whether it will work in a bigger, proper study. Well, so it's sharing what we've done. So I always, of course, start with a small philosophical quote, so as to go from the science into the philosophical course of life. And this guy here is called Heraclitus. Heraclitus was, I think, from present-day Turkey, and I say here, change can be painful, and that's right. Change can be elusive, but it's always inevitable, because as he said, the only thing that is constant is change. Okay, and this is about change. When I went to Oman, it's about this is the time to change things and to speed them up. And actually, my icon, my role model, Professor Douglas Hepler, he was in one of his invited lectures on the Whitney Harvey lecture, extracted this quote from what he has written or said in that lecture. He said, society is obliged to provide equal opportunity to every citizen. Society is not obliged to help pharmacists reach our 30-year-old dream that pharmacy will someday become fully clinical profession. This is a statement of a frustrated leader in the area of pharmacy. And he's talking about pharmacy not globally, but in the States. He's not happy about the yet non-integrated pharmacy in healthcare. So we can then come here and look at us in this region. I think we should all start to, and we're seeing a lot of good things happening, and we'll see that. So while I'm talking to you, I wanted to discuss realities of the hospital pharmacies in the region, including their effectiveness, acceptance, autonomy, and the challenges they encounter. Stop imagining things. Stop, working with just senses. Let's ask some of those people to illustrate and delineate the factors that determine the status of hospital pharmacy, and to list requirements for clinical pharmacy to move forward in the Middle East. And I've written a couple of articles, as a group here, and also in other challenges there and here. So why should pharmacy practice change? We all know medication errors. Everybody knows those happening. It's not the time to say why should we change. We know we should change. Why? Medication errors happening, drug-drug interactions, drug reactions, drug-induced diseases, hospital admissions due to medications errors and therapeutic problems, drug information needs for physicians, drug-related hospital admissions. It's all big catastrophe. Each one of them can write volumes about them. Each dollar spent to provide clinical pharmacy services returned 40. So we know the facts. We're not here to prove this. This has been done. The work has been done for us. If we look at that was a mic, actually, and it's quite a big one. So if we look at the history, and I always, I like practicing pharmacy in where I have practiced in the last, maybe before I come here, New Zealand, UK. But when it comes to the philosophies and the new stuff, the US is the best to bring those stuff. Brought us many indication management services, pharmaceutical care, and so on and so forth. So if you look at there, we're talking about the initiation of PharmD in education. New medication systems were developed at the University of Arkansas, University of Kentucky Medical Center opening. I'm talking about 1960s, 1940s. These things have happened in the 1940s and 60s. Talking about drug information centers, IV drug admission services. University of Wisconsin developed new system for pharmacy services. Concept of satellite pharmacy, 1960. Now here was 2013, and we still might be having problems, and we want to see if this happens. So, and the University of California, San Francisco School of Pharmacy, 9th floor pharmaceutical service project. This was the real initiation of what pharmacists could do, because it recognized as the leader in the aggressive effort to design and establish pharmacist clinical services. This project was done in the 9th floor in a hospital by two geniuses who said, let's see what will the pharmacists do? What can we do? And invited every specialty to come actually and join in that experiment. And it has immediate outstanding results. The pharmacists could do a lot of stuff, and they actually documented that. It became a landmark in the road of pharmacy. And the initial set of pharmacists' practice activities in this project were attendance at patient care teaching grounds, recording patient drug histories, monitoring drug interactions, I'm talking about 1960s, right? So the problems of hospital pharmacy seems that the dispensing function of the pharmacist, while important and even vital, is essentially as a superficial practice of the profession which by itself does not require knowledge or skill sufficiently basic to merit professional recognition. Does this statement apply in our region? And I mean, yes, it does apply, right? So the groundwork has been done. Okay, we don't want to prove it, anything there. So what's happening in hospital pharmacy here? So I thought to collect some qualitative data in Qatar and Oman, and purposive sampling technique, hospital pharmacists, intense PharmD students, just 4 questions and very few people, just to kind of, try it out before we do a structured one. And the questions were, question number 1 is about acceptance. So by acceptance I mean the extent to which the pharmacist feels part of the healthcare team. Tell me, to what extent do you think pharmacists are accepted in the hospital that you work in? How much are you receiving assistance, approached, and asked to provide clinical services, trusted and made to feel like a member of the team? Effectiveness. By effectiveness, I meant able to competently provide clinical services and the extent to which your professional activities are taken and acted upon by other significant healthcare providers. So tell me, how competent and comfortable in your ability to deliver clinical services, make clinical interventions, identify directory problems, and provide clinical advice. And autonomy. By autonomy, I meant your ability to independently perform daily tasks with minimal barriers and with no unnecessary roadblocks created by hierarchical administration or vague or direct laws and regulations. Tell me, how autonomous were you during your daily work? And the last question was, what challenges are pharmacists facing that slow their integration in the hospital practice or that compromise their ability to perform up to the expected level of practice, and include any personal, professional, or any other type of challenge?